Hello YouTube, this is Low Power. Today I want to do a video on the MVP. First I want to talk about the criteria of the MVP of this NBA season and what I think the criteria should always be when it comes to the MVP. Plain and simple, the MVP should be the person who's playing the best basketball, who for that particular season plays the best basketball. Not the person you can say is the best player. Because some people might say, well, Kobe Bryant's the best player in the league. But did he play the best basketball this year? That should be the main criteria for the MVP. Now, you say, well, how do you tell? What if you got a person who's on a weak team and he has big stats because he shoots the ball a lot? Well, this is what I do. I just take the person's, see what he's doing, uh, how he's producing, and see if this person, I ask myself, I'll put this person on this other team with his production slip. And if I say yes, then I say how much. Would it be enough that he would no longer be the best player in the league? But if he could be put on another team and his production would probably remain the same, then he's still the MVP. And it doesn't matter who's on his team. Case in point, when the Lakers won 3 straight championships, Shaquille O'Neal was the best player in the league all 3 of those years. He was the MVP all 3 of those years, even though he had the second best player on his team. Because if you took him at his level play, how he played, and put him on any other team, he would have produced the same. He would still produce more than anyone else. He was, I think, top 5 and scoring and rebounding and block shots all 3 of those years. The one year Allen Iverson won it, he had you could say maybe he deserved it over Shaq. That's it. I think Tim Duncan won it one year. No, I mean, he got one of Shaq's MVPs. Uh, one year with Karl Malone won, I think Shaq actually produced more on the court than any. The 2 years that Karl Malone won, Shaq actually produced more on the court than he did. But anyway, that's how I judge the MVP, though. That's my criteria. Uh, I believe he should be on a playoff team. You put on, if he's on a playoff team, then you just ask the question: with this person, if let's say you got two people that's close in this MVP race, you got a close race. You have LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. You have Dwayne Wade. You even have players like Dwight Howard. You have Chris Paul, all having great seasons. Now, to me, the guy who's playing the best, actually producing the best, who's doing the most on the court, is Dwayne Wade. And a close, very close second, though, is LeBron James. Because LeBron does a lot, and a lot of times he sits out the fourth quarter, and so he can average more points and everything. But Dwayne Wade is scoring almost 30 points a game, averaging over 7 assists a game. Think about it, almost 8 assists, and about 5.5 rebounds a game. I mean, he's a 6'4" guard, so you can't. He's not going to average the same amount of rebounds as LeBron James. But they're both producing, but he's getting more steals than LeBron, and he's also getting more blocks, and he's shorter than LeBron. And so my thing is, okay, if I switch them, on their teams, if I switch Dwayne Wade with LeBron, I believe Cleveland will still be in the same position they in. Who knows? Maybe even better. LeBron was on Miami. I don't think Miami would be any better. I don't think they would be any better than what Dwayne Wade has them as. They're making the playoffs in the East, and they're going to win probably about 44 to 45 games. So he's playing great. Kobe Bryant he's playing great this year too. And actually, I like the way he's playing last year and this year more than any time in his career. Even though I think he played his best during those years they won a championship, him and Shaq. But anyway, the way he's playing is the best he's ever played. As to that, he's allowing his team to score. He's playing more team ball. So, and the fact that Kobe beat LeBron both times they played, uh, even though he didn't dominate LeBron or anything like that, you can say, well, he's better than LeBron or he deserves an MVP. But uh, when you look at who's producing more on the court over the whole season, LeBron. Um, if you switch them on the teams, I think LA might even be a little better. I don't believe that if Kobe played with Cleveland, it would be any better than they are now. So when it comes to MVP, I think that's how you look at it. You look at the way they're playing this year and say, well, if they play on this team, how would their production go? So that's how I look at most valuable player. I don't get into this. Who's the most valuable to his team? Now, who's the most valuable to his team in this conversation? Probably Dwayne Wade. Because LeBron and Kobe had better teams. Kobe has a very good team. But you go by their play. Now, Kobe's level of play is very high. So you can't say just because he plays on a better team, he doesn't deserve the MVP. But my point is that his level of play is not higher than LeBron's this year. LeBron's level of play seems to be higher. And if they switched, I think, LA would be in the same situation, maybe even a little better. Uh, you know, because the way Kobe plays, even though he's playing the way he should play this year, um, depends on you get the dynamics of team chemistry and stuff like that. But I don't see any drop off between the two. So LeBron will win the MVP, I think, this year because his team has the best record. To me, though, Dwayne Wade really is playing better than anybody else this year. He won't, LeBron. It's close between him and Dwayne Wade because LeBron does at times because Cleveland been blowing the team out, sits down, and so does Kobe at times too. But the thing is, Dwayne Wade is the main guy on his team. He draws a lot of attention from the defenses. He still shoots almost 50% from the field. I think he has the highest field goal percentage out of the three, and he's a great defender. Kobe gets all the props for defense. Which this year I'd say he deserves a lot of props for defense. He's playing very great contained defense. But I do notice when they play each other, he defends them guys, but his numbers do go down when he plays against those guys drastically when he focuses on defense. To me, Dwayne Wade, though, is the most underrated defender out of all of them and probably the best one out of all of them all around. He blocks more shots, he gets more steals, and he doesn't get cooked by barely anybody. And, even though if you get cooked by somebody that's 6'3", that got a handle, that's probably the hardest thing to guard in the league other than somebody like a Shaq. But so when it comes to overall play, to me, Dwayne Wade should win it, but this guy might never win an MVP, even though he's been the best. He's been the best player, the best player in the league, at least 3 seasons out of his career, in my opinion. The year that when Shaq first got to Miami, that playoff, by the time the playoffs rolled around, Dwayne Wade was the best player in the league. He was playing better than anybody. The next year, he was the best player in the league, even though he didn't get any MVP pub. He was better than Nash, played better than Kobe. So, when I say play better, I look at things also like shot selection and how many shots you take, what type of shots you take. If you take a lot of shots and you score more points, that's not that impressive to me if a guy who takes less shots almost scores the same amount of points as you do. So, but this guy was the best then. When they won a championship, he was the best player in the league, but he didn't get the props because he played with Shaq. To me, that's silly. That's a silly thing. You got to look at how good that guy actually is playing. And if he's playing that way because of he's being who he is, give him his credit. So my MVP, Dwayne Wade by a smidgen, but LeBron's going to win it. And hey, he deserves it too. So it's real close. It could go 2 ways or 3. All right, peace.